So a couple of weeks ago I put out a video demonstrating the white cree strobe light with the DJI Mini 2, and I demonstrated how by using this little but very powerful LED you could extend the visual line of sight range of the aircraft on a bright day quite substantially. And that's of particular importance for those of us here in the UK, where one of the stipulations, one of the rules set out for UK drone pilots is the fact that you must keep your aircraft in visual line of sight at all times. And that rule simply means that the DJI Mini 2 cannot be flown to a range where you can no longer see it with your eyes in the sky. You can use glasses and contact lenses, but you cannot use any other visual aids such as binoculars. And with a drone this small, unfortunately that means you cannot fly very far. Now with that white cree strobe light we actually managed to get a pretty good range, over 600 meters in fact, which was really impressive considering just how bright the sky was at the time. Well, today we're going to be taking things a little bit further. What about night flights? Of course a darker sky means those strobe lights are going to be even more effective. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at today. Now rather than using the white cree strobe light that we used previously, I'm going to be using these two strobe lights. Now these two strobe lights are not white LEDs, but red LED and green LED. And they actually sync together, I believe is the way it works, so that your flash red, your flash green, your flash red, your flash green, just creating a very vibrant effect in the night sky so that hopefully we will be able to extend the range of our drone flight even further than we did before. So there you can see the effect of the strobe lights in action. The red flashes followed by the green in quick succession, and then that repeats. Incidentally guys, if you want to be notified of my future DJI Mini 2 content, please do consider subscribing to the channel. But it'd be awesome if we could eventually get to 1,000 subs, because then we get access to the community tab and we get to interact with one another a little bit more regularly. Now I understand that it might not have seemed particularly bright seeing those in this current setup, but that's because I have got external light beaming down quite brightly onto me, which could have detracted from their effect. So we're going to go out now and see what sort of range we can get on our visual line of sight in the darkened sky with these strobe lights, the red and the green. One thing to note is that because it's dark outside, I don't unfortunately have a big budget YouTuber vlogging setup, so some of the footage is going to be a little tricky to see, but hopefully, you know, it will give you guys an idea as to what's going on and just how great these strobe lights are really going to be. But I do hope you folks enjoy the video. Now let's head outside for my very first night flight. Oh, I wonder how this is going to go. Woo! Let's hope not. Hiya folks, hopefully you can see me, it's getting dark. So without any further ado, let's get the drone into the air here. And one thing to note is that I'm going to be using the red and green lights, cree lights, rather than the white light. And already I can definitely see that that is going to be far more visible than it was previously. So let's gain some height. Wow, that is bright. Yeah, I'm really excited to do this test because obviously in these lighting conditions we wouldn't normally be able to attain any visual line of sight in any way, shape or form. But on this occasion, using these cree lights, we can obviously do exactly that. So as you can probably see, I'm just going to start recording the screen here. The screen itself is absolutely pitch black, which means we're not going to be able to actually see an image on the screen. There's just no lighting around here. But this is more of a test for visual line of sight. So it's an experiment rather than actual practical use. So let's just go ahead. I'm a little bit nervous, having never flown at night like this before. But I've got to say, I can still see those strobe effect lights very clearly. So let's get it to about 600 meters. And we'll see how dim it is, or how bright it is, as the case may be. Okay, 630 meters. And that is as clear as mud. It really is. It's going to see what you guys can see here. Yep, you can still see that even without me zooming in on my phone there. So let's just keep gaining range. We're at 65 meters. I wanted to do this test this evening due to the fact that, well, the weather's perfect really. It's a little bit cold, but other than that, we're absolutely fine. There's very little wind, though I hope we don't get any wind warnings. We're a little bit nervous, but as long as we can maintain VLOS, which right now, easy peasy, then that shouldn't be a huge deal. Right, so in our daytime VLOS test, we managed to achieve a range of 600 metres, I believe it was. We've already surpassed that at 880 metres, and this can keep on going for ages, because it's as clear almost as it was when it first left. I'm just going to zoom in to see if you guys can see this on camera. You can still see that red and green strobe effect, and that's at 800 plus metres away. Okay, should we see if we can get to the kilometre mark? Yeah, we've just crossed over 1,000 metres. And the range is actually starting to drop, the RC signal. And yet I can still clearly see that drone brighter than anything. It is the brightest thing in the sky, apart from perhaps the moon, which is shining above me. That is incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm just getting a little bit more height since there's not a whole lot of wind, just so we can stay above the tree line, keeping that VLOS. And let's just keep pushing it, shall we, guys? It is so bright for me. I know it's probably not as bright for you guys on the phone screen, but it is so, trust me, it is very, very dark around here, okay? I would not be flying this drone if I couldn't see it really clearly right now. And let me tell you, I can see it very, very clearly. It's incredible. 95 metres. Okay, we're currently at 1,300 metres range. I'll just see if you guys can still see that. Yeah, looks like you can. I will just zoom in though. Oops. There you go, you can still see that drone, and that's at 1,317 metres right now. Fantastic, brilliant. Let's see if we can get it to 1,500. I am just keeping an eye on the range as well. I mean, like the RC connection. And there we have it, 1,500 metres. And I can see that drone almost as clearly as when it first left. Not quite. I could still push it much, much further. I'm not going to, because this is my first night flight. I'm very impressed with that. That is actually the furthest I've ever flown this drone, because it's the first opportunity I've had to do so. I would love to see how much further I could even get it than this, but like I say, I was just a little bit nervous having never flown it so far before. But even at 1,500 metres, I could very easily still see that drone. Here we are, look, all safely back home. Definitely a fun flight. So there we have it then, folks. That was my first night flight with the Cree strobe light and the DJI Mini 2. Now, we got to a range of 1,500 metres, which was crazy really. I think we could have got a lot further, but I didn't want to push my luck on my first attempt. But please do let me know what you think of the Cree strobe lights down in the comment section. And are there any practical uses to being able to do this? Maybe if you're in a more urban environment with a lot more lighting around, the lens and the camera of the DJI Mini 2 might be able to pick up some nice shots. Here in my area, not so much. Couldn't see a thing on the screen. But hey, that's why we had to keep visual line of sight, and these Cree strobe lights did a fantastic job of allowing us to do that. As always, folks, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Mini 2 content going forward. And I'm going to get inside now, it's a little bit cold. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching a relatively quick video, but a fun one, I hope, nonetheless. Bye-bye.